EXO here. We're here to review the Gen 3 Raptor. We just got our hands on it about a week ago. We're pretty excited. We've been doing this for about 10 years since Ford introduced the F-150 Raptor in 2010. We've got Dylan, the head engineer of Icon, and we're about to go see what this thing can do.
All right, excited to check out the new Gen 3 Raptor. We all know that leaf springs are gone in the back and we got a 4-link, so we're excited to see what this truck can do and what the aftermarket can do with this new suspension. Obviously, they're now offering 37s from the factory, so we're assuming we got a bigger wheel well. Pretty soon we're gonna get this vehicle in the shop and scan everything and really compare the dimension versus the Gen 2, so we really know what the differences are and where. The front concept is pretty much the same as the other truck, but I know that they've massaged a couple dimensions here and there. There's gonna be some new stuff in the front end, but the big news is gonna be this back end. No more leaf springs, which is great. They actually took a little bit step backwards with the Gen 2. When they went to Gen 2, the leaf springs actually got a little shorter and we couldn't get quite the travel out of it as easily compared to even a Gen 1. So they took one step backwards on leaf springs, Gen 2, but a big step forward in Gen 3 with no more leaf springs and a coil spring. Packaging, it looks like they did a really good job of packaging. It's gonna solve a lot of problems for the enthusiasts. Hopefully axle wrap is going to be a thing of the past. Stability is going to be improved, so good things coming with this.
So my initial impressions after owning the Gen 3 after a week and putting about 500 miles on it, I really like the new rear suspension. When you floor it, the truck just goes. It feels almost like you have it in 4-wheel drive. It's just planted. You don't get that torquing kind of feeling you do with the leaf spring trucks. Also really like the infotainment system, the interior. It's definitely an upgrade over the Gen 2. A couple other things I was pleasantly surprised with the Gen 3 is that you can reuse the Gen 2 third brake light antenna mounts. So that's a carryover. You may have some issues if you have the rear camera in the brake light. Can't confirm that. Also, you can reuse your Gen 2 bed racks. The bed bolts are in the same location and everything mounts up perfectly. Oh, the exhaust is pretty neat, especially for a stock exhaust. You got that right on your steering wheel. You can change between 3 modes. Same with the shocks, all that good stuff. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with it so far. What really matters is how it does in the dirt, and I can't wait to see how that goes.
Go ahead and go. That's right, manual shit. Well, so far I'm actually, it's not too bad.
And what mode are you in?
Off-road mode, manual. This actually is not
Pretty good.
It's pretty good. The front feels a little stiff compared to my Gen 2 with the 3.0 coilovers, but oh, I can maybe stay on those.
Yeah, you might have been able to flat foot that one.
Yeah. I was expecting that to be way worse. You know what I didn't feel with that is the rear bottoming out.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't feel real much bottom out in either way.
I don't know if it's just some choppy since last time I ran it with the Gen 2.
Yeah.
But the chop feels more violent. The big stuff felt fine.
Well, that is some pretty nasty chop there.
I was pretty impressed. That big one I thought was going to be way worse than it was. I didn't feel the rear bottom out at all.
Yeah.
That big one came up, I wasn't sure what the truck was going to do. I was like, and it took it pretty well.
I'm just going to kind of cruise for a second.
No, you got to send it at all times, man. Actually, I probably shouldn't be saying that since you're the one driving. It's my truck.
Right now with the lighting, it really washes out the holes.
Yeah, these holes are actually at too slow of a speed. These are big.
Yeah, I'd still say they're pretty big.
Right?
But still, I'm impressed for a stock vehicle going over that stuff.
Yeah, no, this is good.
Got some big stuffer right here. Okay. Yeah,
forgive me. I rarely am ever a passenger.
Me too. I'm not a good passenger.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, we found the limit.
That's funny happened. Good thing I was offset half a track width on that. But it did just fine.
Yes.
Even when it kind of popped itself
Yes.
off the ground a little bit.
It didn't.
It's
Yeah.
only a couple inches probably that it popped off the ground.
I mean, granted, it's been, I think, 8 years since I did it, but I remember the first time I found the limits of my Gen 1. I had a bump stop kit and D-rers on it, and you know, sunglasses were flying off the head.
I was surprised that the Gen 2 was worse than the Gen 1 in that regard.
Yeah.
In the wheel hop and soft sand. Like, bad.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, so there's none of it.
None.
Yeah, it's really good in the sand. I mean, as far as wheel hop, but you'd expect that with a 4-link.
Yeah. So what do you think so far, Gordon?
So far, I am very impressed.
I'm a little terrified.
Everybody knows I used to have a Ford Raptor, which obviously performed amazing.
Yeah.
I'm currently driving a Gen 1 with an Icon RXT kit and dual bypasses in the front. And I have to say, this truck right out of the box is absolutely incredible. And very terrifying for Jeremiah.
Just remember the front wheel stuff at some point.
Trying to find that point.
Yeah. Thanks.
What do you think, Dylan? First ride in the Raptor, Gen 3.
It's great. It's really well balanced. It didn't do anything unexpected. From a safety standpoint, he was worried about going to Baja next week without any modifications.
Yep.
So we've just determined that the thing is safe. In a Gen 1, that was a big problem. The back end of a Gen 1 out of the box was not safe. It was a fun truck, but you got into something and the back end would just kick and you'd lose it. I mean, think of how many people in the early days of all the runs would lose their truck and crash it because the rear end was 8 feet off the ground.
Or bend their frames.
Right. So, and it got better in Gen 2 and then better in Gen 3. It's good.
Jeremiah, how was it?
Very impressed. There were a couple big hits right off the beginning, and I thought we were gonna just donkey kick, and the rear just soaked it up, and yeah, it does incredibly well right out of the box.
Nice.
The simplest review I would give is I found myself smiling a lot with the truck. Out of the box, it performed very well. I would say almost comparatively to my modified Gen 2. The front end sits a little low, so you blow through the front travel pretty quickly, but the rear feels smooth. There were quite a few big whoops we came upon, and I thought it was going to launch us, but the truck just soaked it up. The throttle response seems to be even better. Really couldn't notice any turbo lag. We're going to be taking it down to Cabo next week. I was a little apprehensive about taking a bone stock truck that far south and beating the crap out of it, but after today, I feel very confident this thing can handle it and it's going to perform well and keep up with the rest of the group. Overall, I'm very impressed with it and can't wait to see what it does on our trip next week.
So over the years between Gen 1, Gen 2, now Gen 3, they're getting more refined. They're doing things better. They're getting safer, more predictable, more balanced, tuned chassis tuning. And this one for sure is a big step forward. You know, the getting rid of leaf springs and going to 4-link is a big step. It's still tuned for the 90 percentile, so it's soft. But when you push it hard, you don't get the limit as quick as you did in previous generations. You can run out of front travel. We noticed that pretty quick. Obviously the difference is the rear, and there's no wheel hop in soft sand. There's good traction. It puts the power down, and the big one is it's not donkey kicking. So we got an awesome platform.
Well, that was a blast. If you guys like that, stay tuned. We're about to take it on a trip all the way down to the tip of Baja and have a good time in Cabo. We have a couple little minor changes we're going to do to it. We're going to throw on SVC's cast leveling system, some Gladiator 37s, and the Icon Rebound Pros, which are a semi-bead lock but street legal. So those few modifications. Other than that, it's going to be bone stock, and we can't wait to see how it does.